What's good, YouTube? It's Bondi with and back with another banger. And today we're going to be reacting to the Disastrous Epstein files released. Now, I'm going to assume everybody already knows what went on with that because it's not surprising at all. We already knew the government was going to hide shit from us. This has been happening since MLK, JFK, and his brother. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing new out here, man. It's nothing new. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Let's do it.
All right, so the Epstein files were supposed to be released this past Friday, but of course the government continues to try to cover for Epstein's clients. So we only got reportedly 1% of the total files, and 80 to 90% of the documents and pictures they released were redacted or were publicly available already. So we probably got less than 0.1% of the Epstein files. But still, this release had some disturbing stuff in it, and this proves there's a lot of evidence they have in their possession that they obviously don't want out there. So it must be really bad. You know, if this is what we're allowed to see, I can't imagine what they're trying to hide. So one of these documents that came out confirms one of Epstein's victims and the first whistleblower reported him to the FBI and NYPD in 1996. Because Epstein sold pictures of her naked 12 and 16-year-old sisters to his friends and then threatened to burn down her house if she tells anybody. So the authorities were alerted about this in 96, but they did nothing, and Epstein continued to go on victimizing underage girls. And apparently he would even check girls' IDs to make sure that they were underage. Also, some of the pictures that were released that Epstein had framed in his house were with him and...
Hold on, y'all. Gotta go back. The Epstein crew ID girls to make sure they were under 18. Can't make this up. Fuck JFK, LMAO. I mean JFC. I'm tripping. At one point when it's him asking. Now that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That's wild. That is wild. Usually people check IDs to see if you're of age. They was doing the opposite.
Also,
of that.
Some of the pictures that were released that Epstein had framed in his house were with him and children on his private jet, the Lolita Express, which is a reference to a book Epstein was obsessed with about a pedophile who's attracted to a 12-year-old. And Epstein would write quotes from this book on his victims. And he also kept this really creepy scrapbook with pictures of them. And the quotes are talking about how little they are and how little they look. And some of this stuff is just so bizarre, I don't know how to describe it. But there's also this picture that was released where it looks like Epstein is dropping off a young girl to meet with some old guy with his shirt off. And they left him unredacted, surprisingly. And there's also this text message that was released by the House Oversight Committee that was part of the files where someone is talking about sending over girls and the price, and they give her measurements, height, and weight. It definitely sounds like trafficking. But
I'm not gonna lie, like, what I don't understand is why is it always the rich millionaires, or whatever you want to call these motherfuckers, celebrities, whatever. Why are they always the ones doing the weirdest shit? Why are they always the ones like trying to, get with younger girls? Like what's up with that? Why is that always the case? It's never no normal shit. Like, you can't tell me you done got freaked out so much you just want to try some other shit. You just want to try some shit. Just doing shit just for what? For what, bro? Like, why are you doing this?
If you remember, the director of the FBI, Patel, said there's no credible evidence of trafficking in the files.
There's no credible information. None.
They're lying.
Yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals.
And before he was at the FBI, he would talk about how the FBI needs to release all the files and prosecute the clients. But now that he's there, he's covering for them. And that's the same thing with a lot of people. Like, they have no credibility anymore, and they just want this to go away so badly because they obviously know how bad the files look. They're so desperate and they just cannot shake it. And it seems like everything they do just makes things worse. First with the binder stunt, then Patel on Rogan, then the DOJ memo concluding basically there are no files, and then Trump calling it a hoax. That's where people just lost it. So Trump's administration had to do damage control. They started calling every influencer to beg them to stop talking about the files or to get them to do damage control. Like Alex Jones admitted he got a call. He said Trump's administration called him and asked him what it would take to get him to shut up about it. Then also Tim Dillon.
Imagine how they feeling right now too. They probably in they stomach in their ass. Their stomach is in their ass right now because they know they're one step closer to getting caught. Like, they're one step, like, you feel me? Like, it ain't never get like that. Like, it's almost like it's right there. Dude's about to, cause like you can only imagine like how Trump is feeling right now. Trump is like, oh my God, like, cause imagine one of y'all niggas was on that list. You're cooked. I'm not gonna cap. Y'all was on that list, boy. Y'all on the list. Y'all cooked for. Y'all cooked.
You didn't just get a call. You got a free seafood dinner with JD.
Y'all done for.
So you could tell these people are just so desperate.
Man.
They're trying to do anything they can to get people to slow down and stop talking about the Epstein files and stop pushing for the release.
I had dinner last week with the vice president. He told me they do not have videos of any powerful person in a compromising position. That's the party line that they're going with.
And I can tell you a lot more. I mean, I've had the White House call up and be like,
damn, boy.
Last week, what do you want?
Cigarettes. Yeah. That's what they do.
I'm like, oh, you think I'm doing all this just to get something? I've never asked for anything. I want you to do what you were elected to do.
It's the cigarettes.
Yeah. So it went from, you're bad, we're going to have our influencers attack you 2 weeks ago, to, what do you want?
Yeah. Well, they want it to go away. They want this to go away.
So they're clearly panicking over the fallout from that DOJ memo. You know, sending the vice president to meet with a comedian podcaster. Like, they must have been so worried about this. Also, it's ironic JD Vance wants this to go away because just a few years ago, he said, what possible interest would the U.S. government have in keeping the Epstein client secret? And if you're a journalist and you're not asking questions about this case, you should be ashamed of yourself. What purpose do you even serve?
I'm not gonna lie, like, they definitely fucked themselves over. They did themselves dirt. Like, how, like, what? If you're running a campaign, why did you put this in the campaign as well? Why was you, like, sitting here trying to push for, oh yeah, we're gonna release this, we're gonna release that, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna, like, the government's hiding shit. Like, he sounded like he was on our side. Now it looks like it was to sound like he was on our side for a second. He's like, man, look, oh yeah, man, we gonna release everything, man. Oh yeah, you guys deserve to know the truth. Bro, man, he lied like a motherfucker. See, now not only did you push for this shit, but you ended up being on the list as well, and this is why you don't want nobody else to see it. You're cooked. This, man, somebody's gonna hack that shit and release that shit to the public. I feel like something like that's gonna happen. I don't know. I could be speculating.
But of course now he's done a complete 180 and he wants journalists to just shut up about it, and he's helping keep the files hidden. I wonder why. You know, he's trying to protect the clients, I guess. But even with all the damage control they're doing, it doesn't seem to be working. I mean, it seems like they're trying to release just enough to make people happy, but it only seems to make things worse. Like, I think with this recent files drop, they're hoping the pictures of
read this. Yeah, my fault. Member to the Trump administration, the longer you drag out the Epstein files and the more of it you heavily redact, the worse the scandal will get. What we're seeing now, as many of your own supporters are saying, is the opposite of the full transparency you promised. That is true, and I'm not gonna lie. I feel like somebody knows how to work their computer skills to remove these redactions. All these black bars and everything we see on there, bro. If there's a will, there's a way. Somebody knows how to do that shit. Somebody.
Bill Clinton would placate Trump's base and maybe get Democrats to shut up. You know, because of course there are a bunch of pictures of him in the release, as expected. I think everybody knows this guy's a creep, and most people want to see him prosecuted. But we know it'll probably never happen. We've been hearing this for such a long time. It's so funny. People are still like, oh shit, we caught Bill Clinton. This is it. It's over for him. But everybody knows this is going to lead to nothing. It's pathetic. I mean, we've been waiting for Pam Bondi to prosecute Epstein clients, and if Bill Clinton's one of them, and if he's a pedophile, then go after him. But of course, it's never going to happen because it's one big club and Bill Clinton's in it. And I'm sure if he goes down, everyone goes down with him. Because if that weren't the case, I think they would have thrown him under the bus right away.
Man, what? Bill boy. Yeah, he's cooked. I'm not going to lie. Now, if they actually take this dude to jail, I'm not going to lie, bro. Yeah, he's snitching on everybody. Now that you think of it, what he just said is definitely true. There's no way he's just going to go out with a bang and take all of that on his chin. You know what I'm saying? He going to have to wipe up a little bit. Pause. Yo, I'm tweaking. But he gonna have to wipe up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Wipe your chin. Cause I'm not gonna lie, like, that's over with. You got put this whole bit of, I'm talking about information, everything that they found, they dropped that shit on you like that, dropped it right in your lap. Yeah, you're going to jail for a good time. And if you're going to jail for a good time, shit, you might as well be like, man, I'm taking everybody with me, man. All they are coming down. If I'm going, you going.
It would have satisfied a lot of Trump's fans.
Ooh,
and it seems like that might be kind of what they're trying to do now, but it's too little too late. And I don't think Pam Bondi will ever prosecute him. But they're clearly throwing these pictures out there to try to satisfy Trump fans for a little. You know, it's like just tossing out some breadcrumbs to try to keep people happy while they try to cover up everything else, including Bill Clinton's involvement. You know, they literally released these pictures so they don't have to release the more damning evidence. I mean, you'll see people post these pictures and act like, whoa, it's not looking good for Bill. Even the press secretary retweeted the picture and is like, oh my. But if you're disturbed by this, then demand for the full release of the files and prosecute the clients. It makes no sense to be like, oh my God, this picture's horrible, but the files are a hoax and we should move on from talking about them. Like, you can't have it both ways. You know, these people always go back and forth. First, they claim they're files, then there weren't files, then there were again, but they're a hoax. But now they're real and only a hoax when Trump's involved. I mean, it's so funny because people will be like, man, did you see that birthday letter Bill Clinton sent Epstein? That was really creepy. But the one that Trump sent him is totally normal. I didn't think anything of it. But it seems like they know Trump's involved, but they're just too closely associated with him to jump ship now. You know, they'd rather just help cover up a child sex trafficking ring. It's wild. So now if the files actually do come out, the collateral damage.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, too, you got to understand, they're going to cover up for him because he is the president of the United States. So with him being the president, if this is released to the public, I'm not gonna lie, it definitely will shape how everybody look at the U.S. Because not only did we elect a president that does things like that, but then the whole world gets to see it. Yo, we're gonna be a laughingstock. I'm not gonna lie, we're a joke to everybody. We will be a joke, bro. Yo, I'm thinking about it right now. We're gonna be a joke. We would be cooked. Who's gonna take us serious after that? Who's actually gonna take us serious after that? Nobody. Now, they should have still released them files. I don't care.
Is gonna be catastrophic. You know, it's gonna destroy so many people's reputation, and it's already destroyed people's credibility. Like Cash Patel and Pam Bondi, they're a complete joke. And Dan Bongino, he's stepping down at the FBI, which has gotten mixed reactions. But it'll be interesting to see if people still trust him. Because before he was at the FBI, he kept telling everyone for years to stay focused on the Epstein files and continue to push for the release. But then once he got the position at the FBI, he just wanted people to move on from it. Also now, a lot of people even try to downplay Epstein's crimes. Like before this recent release, a few months ago, Megyn Kelly said some wild shit. I think she got a call from the administration because she said she also has a source. And she was acting like, is Epstein really a pedophile? You know, I heard he just liked barely legal teen girls.
And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. We have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview.
So I don't know why.
Whoa. Barely legal. 15? What are we talking about? The fuck are we talking about? 15? Unless like they talking about in other states, I guess in specific states, 16 is the age of consent, but then most states is 18. If she's talking about that, still though, like, bro, she's like what? Buddy's like 60 years old. Leave those 16-year-olds to the people that's in high school. Like, you feel me? If you like 15, if you're like 16, 17, or 18, I'll give people like 2-year age gaps. 2 years to 1 year age gaps. Other than that, especially in the high school age, bro. At the high school time, bro, nah. Them age dynamics is weird.
Anyone would try to make this point. This is insane. I mean, literally the name of his plane is referencing a pedophile. And there were alleged victims as young as 11. And the girls in some of these pictures, you can't see their faces. They're blocked out, but they look really young. So with all the information out there and knowing more is coming out, to try to make this point is wild. Like, she must have not thought this through at all. But maybe the recent file drop changed her mind. I mean, Epstein said he was checking IDs to make sure girls were underage. Also, I saw it now, they're deleting files because they forgot to redact some with Trump in it, which just draws more attention to them. So I don't know how they didn't catch that before the release. You know, I figured that's what they're looking out for. But the DOJ always acts like they're rushed and they didn't have enough time to release everything and censor the victims' names. But this has been going on for like 6 months at this point, and there were reports of them 6 months ago redacting names. And every time it comes down to actually releasing them, it's like, we need more time, the files aren't ready, they're not with us, or we're protecting the victims. And by victims, they probably mostly mean the clients. That's all they really seem to care about protecting. But now, since they didn't release all the files and they deleted some, people think Pam Bondi should be impeached. Even Trump fans, they hate her too, because she just insults everyone's intelligence. I mean, she's gone back and forth on this so many times. Like, first they did that binder stunt and she gave everybody already publicly available information and said it was the Epstein files and said they're the most transparent administration. So that completely backfired and everyone just got pissed at her. So then she's like, all right, well,
they holding that shit like it's a golden ticket, bro. They holding this shit like it just, like, be honest, it kind of is a golden ticket, like, release the shit immediately. But they holding it like they was really about to release that shit, and that's not it. Like, I don't know, like, and then the age dynamics, again, is just weird. Why is you going for 16-year-olds and you're 60, bro? That don't even make sense. It just doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't. Like I said, leave the shit to high schoolers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in there is in that grade, 9th through 12, right? The 9th and 10th grade, the 9th and 10th graders, they fuck with each other, right? Yeah, the 9th and 10th graders, they fuck with each other. Well, what's the highest in 18? Like, what? It's 18, right? Juniors and seniors, they mess with each other. You get that 2 to 1 year age gap, cool. Anything 4, 5, and 6 and 7 at that age, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna start getting weird. I'm not gonna cap to you.
Bunch of files just got to my desk. I just got a truckload of evidence. I have hundreds of hours of videos. It's all coming out. We're the most transparent administration. But then soon after that, the DOJ announced they had nothing. And then they also said Epstein killed himself, and she lied about the cell footage. So every few months, whenever the Epstein stuff heats up, they do this whole runaround where they talk about how transparent they are, but they just need more time to protect the victims.
All files with limited exceptions to be released within 30 days. On Friday, the Justice Department released just a fraction of the overall Epstein files. Why didn't the Justice Department meet that Friday deadline?
Good morning. So it's very simple and very clear. The statute also requires us to protect victims. And so the reason why we are still reviewing documents and still continuing our process is simply that, to protect victims. So the same individuals that are out there complaining about the lack of documents that were produced on Friday are the same individuals who apparently don't want us to protect victims. So we're going through a very methodical process with hundreds of lawyers looking at every single document and making sure that victims' names and any of the information from victims is protected and redacted, which is exactly what the Transparency Act expects. That's exactly what Attorney General Bondi expects.
So I don't think we'll ever get the full files.
And this is why nobody believes in the government. Like, look at this guy. Do you believe anything that's saying? Like, ask yourself this. Do you believe anything that is coming out of his mouth? No. I'm going to answer it for you. No, you don't. You don't believe shit that is coming out of this man's mouth, because this dude is a liar like the rest of them. None of them tells the truth. They just want your votes, and they just want you to be on their side for everything. Like, that's all they want. They want you to just be on their side and uplift them and say, oh yeah, you know what, this president, he did this, he's known for doing that, he's known, or this government official, he's known. But but the thing is, bro, nobody fucks with y'all. Nobody fucks with y'all. I know I'm going on a whole little run out here, but look, I just had to say what I had to say. Like nobody's fucking with y'all because you guys do not tell the truth. That's why Trump's rating is down. Y'all fucking stupid.
Now there's more pressure to release them than ever. And obviously, the more that comes out, the worse it looks, and the more people should be demanding for the release. Like, of course, the DOJ was hoping that the files that were released on Friday would be good enough for people, and they'd shut up about it now. But it didn't work, and it never seems to work. You know, they've tried to get people to move on from this so many times already. It's not going away. And whenever they get caught, it's like, give us time. You know, we're in the process. We just need to protect the clients. I mean, victims. But people are running out of patience. I mean, I'm glad they released what they did, but it's just nothing in the grand scheme of things. I mean, the Bill Clinton pictures look bad, but they're probably nothing compared to the redacted files about him. You know, I'm sure there's so much worse about him in the files. Like, I'm sure they just released the least damning evidence, and we're probably just hoping it would satisfy people with these pictures of celebrities. I mean, also there's a picture of Michael Jackson and Epstein in there, which I think was a new development, and of course it looked pretty creepy. But some people seem to think this is a red herring, like they put this in there so it would catch people's attention and they just focus on that. Because also the deputy press secretary tweeted out this picture of Bill Clinton, Michael Jackson, and Diana Ross.
I'm not gonna lie, do y'all actually think he did it? Y'all think he was really like he was really doing shit? Cause it's not making it no better if I'm thinking about it. Like nothing is making this better because he was already getting allegations for being a predator. And then now they're putting him on the list. They're probably just trying to put the brunt of the force on him now that he's passed away and there's nothing for him to really like he can't fight for himself no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not here with us. So I feel like they just try to add this in there so we could be shocked a little bit. Like, oh my God, Michael Jackson. Oh my God, he's on the list.
And their kids. And they blocked out their kids' faces, so it makes you think they're victims. But this picture had already been publicly available on the internet. So I don't know why she's acting like this is a big bombshell in the files. Well, it seems like they might be trying to use this as a red herring, you know, because of Michael Jackson's controversy. Obviously, when you see this, you think the worst. So also some other celebrities that were in the files are David Blaine and David Copperfield, which David Copperfield has this picture with Maxwell that looks pretty bad, you know, because most of these other pictures look like they're in a professional setting. And just because you've taken a picture with Epstein doesn't mean you're involved with him or you're doing anything wrong. But the pictures of David Copperfield and Bill Clinton probably look the worst. So a few other ones were Chris Tucker, Mick Jagger, and Kevin Spacey, which Kevin Spacey has already admitted to being on Epstein's private jet with young girls.
I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights.
There were young girls on those flights, yeah.
It also doesn't help that a lot of these people already don't have the best reputation, and the entertainment industry is known for supporting pedophiles and abusers, like Roman Polanski, who was convicted of drugging and raping a 13-year-old. But even after that, everyone still supported him and worked with him, and he won an Oscar. Then also Harvey Weinstein, you know, everybody loved him. And I think they had a good idea of what he was doing. But then once it came out, then they're all like, oh, this is terrible. And he also was friends with Epstein, and his company.
Yo, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, like, we better not. I mean, like we better not let this shit slide. There's no way we're gonna let this slide. If we let this slide, bro, then this is just a slap in the face again. Like, that's what's gonna happen. If we let this slide and this is just really to the point to where they just get away with some shit like this, because by the looks of it, they've been getting away with shit like this. They've been getting away with shit like this. It's always been that. So if something doesn't happen, then we're just gonna continue. Because think about it, these can be your kids. They could be your kids getting trafficked and stuff like that. So if somebody don't step their foot down, or if America doesn't step up as a whole to take these motherfuckers down, then shit, like, you feel me? Like, we're cooked. We're gonna be mentioned cooked,
in the
bro.
recent files release. So it seems like in the entertainment industry and in politics, this stuff is really prevalent. because also it's much easier to get away with when you have power. Like, nobody seemed to care about Epstein, Weinstein, or Polanski until they had to. I mean, people would openly make jokes about this stuff. People would defend Polanski and get mad that anybody would even bring up the fact that he raped a 13-year-old. Like, one of the craziest things that shows how depraved and morally corrupt these people are is when Quentin Tarantino defended him on the Howard Stern show sometime in the early 2000s. And this will occasionally resurface from time to time. And just recently it did because Quentin Tarantino started some drama with Paul Dano and everybody took Paul's side, and then they pulled up this clip because this is wild.
More than Europe, more than China?
With a 13-year-old girl, and you're a grown man, you know that that's wrong because she has
giving her booze and pills. I'm not. Look, she was down with it.
Oh, you're crazy.
And she's talked about it. She's talked about it.
I believe it's rape.
I don't believe it's rape. I mean, not at 13. Not for these 13-year-old party girls.
Oh, my God.
Really?
13-year-old party girls. What is that?
And obviously, if somebody said this nowadays, they'd be canceled in a second. You know, their career would be completely over.
What?
But at the time in Hollywood, I don't think anybody even cared. And they probably liked it that he was sticking up for Roman because everyone acted like Roman was the victim in the situation. So this shit was basically normalized in Hollywood and in politics. But surprisingly, I don't think Tarantino is directly connected to Epstein at all, even though he was best friends with Harvey Weinstein, and Weinstein produced all of his movies, and he's connected to Epstein. But it seems like a lot of this stuff was out in the open. Nobody really cared about, though, until the Me Too movement. You know, then Harvey Weinstein got taken down, then people stopped working with Polanski, and then Quentin Tarantino had to apologize for this clip, and Epstein got busted. But up until then, it seemed like you could get away with anything if you had influence and power. Like, the way Quentin Tarantino's talking about this, he makes it sound like it's no big deal, like it's just a normal thing. You know, like, everybody knows how these 13-year-old party girls are. So around this time in Hollywood and politics, I'm sure there's a lot of this going on, and I'm sure there still is. But it used to be obviously really easy to get away with. You know, Epstein had been doing this for decades. And then even when shit hit the fan, a lot of people around him acted like he was being treated unfairly, like he was being canceled. There's this letter in the files that he got from someone who was like, I hate that you got into this mess with the girls. You know, they knew what they're doing. You didn't put a gun to their head. But you got to watch it, you know, when you're a rich, famous man, you're a target in this world. So the amount of people that just ignored what he's doing and even defended his behavior is wild. But let me know what you guys think about it, and make sure you check out my Patreon. There are over 160 exclusive videos on there. And actually the first one I posted was about that Quentin Tarantino clip and just how creepy and depraved Hollywood is. So if you want to hear more about that, or if you want to hear about how recently Tucker Carlson was exposed by Theo Von by accident, it was hilarious. Theo didn't even know what he's doing. He accidentally exposed him. And that was a big video. People really liked it. So if you enjoy the channel and you want extra content, definitely check out the Patreon. It's worth it.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna have to check that out, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have to check that out, man. But y'all know, y'all know that these files, bro, they're not gonna come out unless we really, like, really, I'm talking about push for it. Like, no amount of money is gonna get y'all niggas to stop talking about it. That goes for the other creators as well. And shit like that. Like, no amount of money is gonna get y'all to stop speaking on it. And even when y'all get that money, if y'all do get that money, bro, y'all better still keep talking, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Y'all better keep talking. Cause I would. Fuck all that. But anyways, that's the end of the video. If y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, hit that post notification button if y'all want to stay updated on the next video. Let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think about this whole Epstein redaction issue. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.